The following podcast has been rated Listener MA. It contains strong language, violence, adult situations, nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Sportscast. I am your host, Scotty Gurman, Scooter McGurman. Alongside
Nobody's
me,
ever gonna call you that?
No.
Why not?
It's a stupid fucking nickname.
No.
Go on.
Okay. Alongside me, as usual, I have two very, very excellent stand-up comedians here in the Wichita area.
Good.
So good.
Amazing.
First to my left, we have the 1984 Kingman County T-Ball Defensive Player of the Year Award winner, Mr. Jeremy Joseph.
Hi, Scotty.
Hey.
Long time no see.
Fuck off.
All right.
And then a much better stand-up comedian, also to my left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Totally kidding.
No, he's not. He's cereal.
No.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's true.
No, it's
Doesn't
not.
make it any less mean.
No, he's wearing shittier clothes and, threw a jersey on my guitar. We like to call him the Wreck, Mr. Derek Alders.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty?
Oh, you're just defacing my property.
Well, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Wait do you see what I did to your toilet?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No pun,
Literally.
Pun intended?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got
I
it.
Jackson
put-
Pollock the bowl.
He put a Cubs jersey in it. Oddly enough, that's
Exactly. Yes, where it belongs. Guys, this is actually a really special occasion. We are actually on vacation right now. We decided to do this episode a little bit early and then release it to you when we are on vacation so that way we can enjoy ourselves and still give you guys an episode so that way, you don't miss us.
We're live from Bosnia.
right. But let's not let them realize that this isn't real life. How about that game?
Yeah, that game.
Oh,
that
fuck,
one.
that was a good
Oh,
game.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the best thing I ever saw. If only you guys could have seen it too.
Did you see the hit that guy got? That
Yeah.
was nuts.
He sure
Yeah.
did.
Off of that
Yeah.
pitch?
Yeah, off of that pitch.
Yeah,
dude,
on that count?
I mean,
Yes.
he threw it from like 60 feet away.
Yeah, 60
right.
feet 6 inches.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
God, I didn't even get up that close to measure.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It was the best.
Anyways,
And then that other thing. Yeah.
And that catch? The guy had that catch?
Oh, yeah.
this could go on forever.
How did you call that
2-hour
pitch?
episode of this?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember when I said that he's going to hit it and the guy's going to catch it.
Yeah.
I said it before he even pitched.
Fucking Oracle.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Oracle.
for sure.
Yes.
Fortune teller.
Oral.
Oral
Oracle.
master.
Right. Oracle.
Oral master. We're gonna go with that.
Oracle, because I can predict the future of how my oral sex sessions are going to go. They're going to be disappointing.
Excellent. Excellent. But anyways, guys,
You're working on that gag reflex, though. You're going to get there.
Oh, we're going that way. All right. Yeah.
we're going balls deep.
Old tickle chin over here. That's what we call them.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I keep this, by the way. That's to prevent chafing.
Jesus. Anyways, in all seriousness, we wanted to actually do a listeners appreciation show where they don't have any rules. I don't have any rules. We're going to go off on tangents. We're going to start somewhere, end somewhere else for you guys so we can have a show that you guys get to listen to. And we're not going to have any rules, but most of it's going to probably be a bunch of grab ass.
What about filters? We putting filters?
We never have filters.
No filters,
No
motherfuckers.
filters.
When we were before Boulevard, bitches.
Yes.
Dude, that's true. That's true. Boulevard Wheat came out with a fucking unfiltered commercial.
Unfiltered
Those
wheat
bastards.
for their unfiltered wheat beer, and they just go off about how no filters whatsoever.
I guarantee
for any reason.
you they at least have one or two filters or filtration processes that they
Oh, yeah.
use.
They have to.
Or else there'd be barley in your fucking beer.
Yeah.
So they're lying.
Yeah, and, well, one of the filters is actually an old pair of Dave Boulevard's boxer shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's the founder of Boulevard Wheat Beer, Dave Boulevard.
I don't give a shit.
All right. Well,
Just saying.
way to yes and. There we go. That's how it's done.
But with this show, I mean, normally my job is to keep everybody on track, going down straight line. There's not going to be any of that.
And his other
Yeah, no,
job,
but-
too, is before the show, he's a fluffer.
Right. 'Cause I can't. I don't know about you, Derek.
Oh, wait,
I
that's not
cannot
bad.
do
That's-
this show without an erection.
Yeah, I have to be hard.
That's
Rock
fucking
hard.
weird.
That's the only way my pants stay up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left my belt at home.
Yep. That's how. Okay.
I just
All
stick
right.
my dick through the zipper hole.
Yeah.
And they don't fall down.
I use rubber gloves. So
Sure you do.
I have to.
Well, I appreciate you clenching my ass with rubber gloves.
You're welcome.
Only
You're
because
welcome.
he knows I'm allergic to latex. God, my balls hurt, but it feels it's a good kind of hurt.
Yeah,
It's
the
those-
irritation getting you yet?
Right, that along with the open sores that are already there. Oh,
Well, Jesus. Well, not only that, but also I do that cough test just to make sure that all of us are healthy.
yes.
Do it on myself and then do it to you, gentlemen. Derek, you
Dr. McGurman.
oh,
yeah.
man.
Dr. Scooter.
I mean, seriously, it's like a tic tac.
Would you go to a Dr. Scooter?
I don't think so.
No, I wouldn't either.
I would go
He's
once.
probably fucking with you.
I don't think I would even buy a scooter from a guy named Scooter.
No,
He
no,
sells
that's
the
too on
best ones.
Oh no, he doesn't. That
he
that guy
does.
sells generic scooters.
What? That's bullshit.
Yeah, I would buy it from Sydney Spree. That's a brand specific, damn good scooter. A Honda Spree. Oh,
What?
a Honda Spree. It's a small scooter. that-
Sprees or candy that maybe not are
They
even
sure
out.
are. Oh, they're sweet but sour, but they're not sweet.
And they're
tarts.
also things killers go on.
Right.
Yes, they go in sprees.
Yes.
So
Yes,
there's
do.
really no such thing as a bad spree.
No.
No.
No. Shooting spree, killing spree. Is it hitting spree? Is one of them?
No, that's a streak.
Oh, that's a streak.
Yeah.
You're
Right, but
Like
a candy
underwear, streak, underwear, sprees, killers. Got it. Totally got it.
Boxer shorts, Boulevard unfiltered.
Right.
Stank
Right.
7.
It all comes right back home,
Boulevard Stank 7.
which is so much better than Boulevard Stank 6. How much better? One.
Yeah.
I do math.
I'm sure that they probably tried 7 times to make really good beer, and the 6th one wasn't.
It was actually a mistake.
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake. The
Oh,
Tank
cool.
7 was a mistake. I took that tour. There's filters. But,
See,
yeah.
lying sacks of shit.
Yeah, they said Tank 7. I think they were trying to make like the farmhouse ale or something, and it was a fuck up. And so, but people liked it. No, I can't remember what. I think it was the farmhouse. But yeah, they fucked up. People liked it, and they're like, yeah, all right, we'll just keep it. So
All right, cool.
I've never actually tried Boulevard. Is it any good?
it's filtered.
It's filtered. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You can almost taste the filter. Sometimes they'll put hunks of filter
Yeah.
in the beer.
I've had a screen on the top of my bottle before when I pop the cap.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's like sometimes there's a little screen in there to filter it, and I'm like, I didn't pay for this.
Right. Right. They call it pulp. It's
Yeah.
not.
No.
Anyway, we're gonna give this show is mainly going to be about all of us. A lot of the stories that we have. I mean, we do this show acting like we actually know something about sports. We actually do know a lot about sports.
Yeah,
We
we're
have
fucking watching Cornhole Live right now.
We actually are. That's
It's
not
not
even
live,
bullshit.
but-
Well, is it?
That's taped.
Nah, it's got to be taped.
I don't know.
It's got to be taped.
This is the fucking Dennis Hayden match, and it's
Team Dennis Hayden is they're my odds-on favorite to win this
I don't
thing.
know. Hendersoners, they're pretty.
That's too difficult to say.
Have
Is
you-
what I have to deal
have
with
you
on a
seen
regular
Henderson's
fucking
air mails?
basis. See why we try to do
Yes.
this? You have
Yeah,
to keep them on track and shit.
I've
This is
actually got a
exactly what
half-hour
happens.
loop of Henderson's airmails, just
It's-
one right after the other.
Yeah.
And my ringtone is actually Henderson audio of him yelling out, just airmail. And I mean, it's a nice ringtone. It's got a nice rhythmic, soothing feel to it. But
God, yours is way better. My ringtone is my dad telling me how disappointed he is in me.
really,
Yeah, that's expected.
yeah. Well, I used to have a ringtone of your dad telling me how disappointed he was in you.
It made me so happy when he called.
It just gets old after a while. It's like, we know.
We know.
Yeah, Dad, I amounted to nothing. I understand.
We've seen him.
I hear
podcast,
you
yeah.
talking to Mom upstairs every night about it.
And hearing her go, yeah, she's tired of hearing it too.
Yeah, we should kick him out. I get it. But
Shut up.
he
Eric's
needs
dad.
a real job. I understand.
Well, I mean, on this show, we make picks, we make predictions, we do a lot of stuff like that, but we don't really get to go into a lot of the stories and a lot of the fun stuff that we all talk, because we know each other personally. This is not just, something, thrown together. We hang out with each other on a regular basis. I mean, whenever Jeremy doesn't have to fucking work.
Right. I do work a lot. I'm a very hard worker.
Yeah.
It sucks because we miss you there.
Motivated. Yeah.
We miss
I
you.
know you do. And that's, Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I heard that somewhere. I read it on a T-shirt, and it was a shitty T-shirt.
See, then it's probably shitty. But we've got a lot of stories that we wanted to tell you guys, at least to get to know us. I mean, we really haven't gone over really anything about ourselves. I mean, we really haven't had the chance to. There's been so much stuff going on in sports, other than, especially for those of you that don't know, whenever you're trying to do a sports show after the Super Bowl, it sucks. It's really hard. It's difficult. There's not a lot of shit to talk about. There's the NBA, and then before that, there's other than the NBA and like the middle of college basketball, there's really not a whole lot to go off.
It's
of.
regular season shit.
It's regular season
something
shit.
very interesting has to happen.
Yeah.
Airmail. Sorry. Cornhole. There is cornhole.
There is
Yes.
cornhole, but I think cornhole is a year-round event. For the people throwing bags at little boards, and then also
That's
for
because
my wife.
those fucking guys are in shape.
Yeah,
That is why it is a year-round event.
These are athletes.
they're circular. That's definitely for sure.
No, you look at that guy.
Look at this.
He's built like a twig. I mean, he's rough, and I mean, you can see almost both of his front teeth. I mean, it's fucking
Pretty impressive.
It's grit.
You know what? I'm wondering if they have like a table somewhere that holds their beer, because if you had to play this game sober, I am totally against it, and we should change the channel.
No, the guy with the backwards hat back there is probably holding that guy's beer.
You think so?
One guy is holding a beer while he throws.
Is he?
On the other side.
Hang on.
You got to do that for balance,
Right
counterbalance.
there. Right there.
Okay, is he? Is it a beer or is it an energy drink?
Is that
if it's an
beverage?
energy,
Oh no, that's a beer. That's got to be it.
if it is an energy drink, then that's fucking like what do you call it? Sponsorship.
I bet it's Strike Force.
I guarantee it's Strike Force.
Yeah,
No, 'cause
Strike
it's
Force, official drink of Cornhole Masters.
It's in a can.
No, it's in a bottle.
Yeah, it's in a bottle.
I can't see. I'm looking off of a fucking reflection of a jersey. Okay.
And there's no reason you can't put Strike Force in a can.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
put it in our cans all the time. Hashtag butt chug.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by StrikeForceEnergy.com. Check them out.
We are actually watching something that none of you can see.
Exactly. It's
And you're listening to it. You're watching our reaction
I know.
to a cornhole game.
Which we can do that on a later date. No, but seriously, while we're watching cornhole, there are a lot of stories that we have, especially being involved in sports. I mean, we decided to do this show for a reason. We didn't just decide to, hey, let's try to do a sports show and be funny. No, you guys are too. And in all seriousness, I've seen both of you guys perform. I'm seeing you perform.
Are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Oh, awesome.
Me and the wife are going to go see Jeremy, and then we will see you whenever you're performing, I think, as well. We're going to try to, at least.
It's on Pornhub.
I know. But you are
That's
also
a
on
pretty bad performance,
multiple
though.
videos on Pornhub.
Yep, 30-second clips.
Yep,
Don't worry,
exactly.
it's not really a clip. It is the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Start to finish.
yeah,
Scotty fluffing, clear up to the load blowing.
yep.
But
That is right.
for what it's worth, you guys are very, very good at what you do. I tell the story about Derek all the time. I saw you actually going to see Derek at Barleycorns, if I remember correctly.
No, I think it might have been Barleycorns. I thought it was that one in
The
Derby.
best kept show in...
No, it wasn't
or
in
best
Derby.
kept
I know for a
secret
fact.
In comedy. Those
Barleycorns?
two guys from Dan Frigolette and whoever the other douchebag was.
You were a mid, and Jeremy was hosting, and he opened.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was on Barleycorns.
It might have been.
But I was impressed by you. That was the very first time I actually saw you.
Okay.
Actually saw you. That was the first time. I didn't even meet you. I went up and saw Derek afterwards, and then later that year, you came into our fantasy football league.
Right.
So I saw you. I thought you were extremely funny. I loved the fact that you had a baseball jersey on, even though it was a Royals jersey. I didn't hate the Royals.
Right.
And then Derek came on afterwards and did a great show. And I was impressed by both of you guys. I mean, so if you do get a chance to go out and see either Derek or Jeremy perform, I sure as hell am never going to perform on stage. That's for damn sure, unless it's stripping. But other than that, these guys are excellent to go and watch. So please look them up. Derek Alders and Jeremy Joseph. Go out and see them. They're great stand-up comedians.
Oh, go on.
I know, right? Well, I've said it, I think, once on the show, but if these people are new listeners, I saw Derek for the very first time, and I did not want to go. I did not want to. I love Derek sincerely, but I did not want to go and see him do stand-up be a stand-up comic. To me, Derek was just a guy that had a lot of jokes whenever we were doing the draft. Because I'd say like the first 2 years, we weren't really that close. I saw you once a year for the draft is basically the only time that I ever saw you. And Jeremy wasn't in the picture because he wasn't a part of the draft. And for those of you guys who do not know, our draft is pretty legit and pretty serious. Like even if you're in the toilet bowl, you're still trying to win.
Yeah.
And so we have a good group of guys that really actually do care. And Derek's wife is a part of the league as well, and she's actually done quite good the last couple of years. So
She won one year.
Yeah, she did win 1 year.
I didn't help her that year either. I told her no.
No, so it's a very, very competitive league that everybody actually gives a shit, as opposed to some leagues where they're just kind of thrown together and then just nobody cares halfway through. This one actually is a good league to be a part of, and that's why we kind of have a waiting list to even get into it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we do.
Every single year somebody doesn't show up or can't show up to draft, and we do a live draft.
Yes.
Which is the whole idea.
Way more fun to do it that way.
Oh God, yeah, 10 times more fun.
Instead of just sitting here looking at a fucking screen,
Looking
like,
at a phone.
Make your pick, click.
There are some people, and I'm going to quote a George Carlin. They make their picks like old people fuck.
Oh yeah.
Just fucking hawing and agonizing over, who's going to be my 12th round, third string running back.
Right.
And it's just fucking pick one. Let's go. We've been here for 2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
No matter which guy you pick at this point, they're going to be about the same.
Yeah.
Just
That shit
chances
pisses
are you're going
me
to put them
off.
on waivers anyway later. Just
Right.
fucking go.
That pisses me off in the NFL draft. When you're the number one pick. You've known you're the number one pick for months.
And they take
and
10
there's
to 12 minutes to do it.
There's a clear-cut number one guy.
Right.
You've interviewed these guys. You've worked these guys out. You've known all these stats. And then it's like, all right, number one on the clock, which usually is the Cleveland Browns. It won't be next year, but we'll say it is the Cleveland Browns. And until the very last second, they're like, all right, with the number one pick in the NFL draft, the Cleveland, and then they get it wrong. But most teams get it right.
Well, and what I would love to see in the actual NFL draft is a fantasy football draft moment where, like, the New York Giants, with the 12th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Giants pick running back Tim Johnson out of North Carolina, and somebody comes out, they've already been taken. He's gone.
Or the other teams are being represented by people that sit in the front row and just talk shit on that guy the whole way back to his desk.
He's already been taken. Or in the fourth round with
He's
the number
hurt.
7 pick, the Arizona Cardinals select John Williamson, Cornell. He tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Yeah.
Every year.
Or the one fucking guy, who, like, 4 picks down, somebody makes their pick. Oh, God damn, that was going to be our guy.
Yeah. Live reaction of the team next to draft. Like, fuck.
Yeah. And the league, we do have some like pretty cool rules. We now have the Matty rule, which I thought was pretty funny, because we have a friend that's named Matt that picked, I want to say it was like 3 people that were hurt.
They were on IR.
All in a row. All in a row. Went back. Like,
It was
put the
like
sticker up.
it was like
He's hurt.
Spencer Ware, and then it was like, all right, well, I'll take. I was waiting for his.
paying any attention.
I was waiting for his 4th pick to be like Keyshawn Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was getting so much shit by the second time he did that. Then when he went up for the 3rd sticker and he was hurt, we were just all like, "Oh God, Matty."
Yeah.
But yeah, and we also have the Brody rule, which is
Yep.
a really cool rule that we do. We have a good friend that we called Brody that passed away in an accident, and we have a rule that he 1 year he took, or the last year that he was alive, he took a kicker.
He took Justin Tucker in the 3rd round.
in the 3rd round. So now from here on out,
And he was excited. He's like, I got the best kicker.
He came back.
Yeah.
He was sitting at my table. He came back and he was just like, I don't know. Do you think that was a good pick? And he sat right next to Patton, and Patton just looked at him and was like, yeah. Patton just was trying to hold it back, and he couldn't.
I think
like,
Wasn't Justin Tucker a defensive end?
no, Justin Tucker was kicker for the Ravens.
He's still the kicker for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there a defensive end for the Giants named Justin Tucker?
Justin Tuck.
Tuck.
Yeah.
Tuck. Fuck that
But
guy. I hate
actually,
his
I take
rule.
that back.
His
I-
fucking rule
I think
that won the fucking Patriots the AFC Championship.
Right.
That fucking Tuck rule. Hated
yeah,
it.
right. I think Patton actually looked at him and just goes, I think it was just a little early. And the poor guy,
Patton's the asshole in our
Patton's
league.
the asshole in our league, and we love Patton, kind of.
Yeah, we
do.
love assholes.
Exactly.
Hashtag butcha.
Yes.
But now, so since he's passed away, we now have a rule where we stop the draft after the 2nd round, and we all draw out of a hat to see which pick we get. We all take a kicker in the third round to honor Brody. So I think that's a cool rule. So we have this camaraderie between all of the people we play fantasy football with, but we only see them once a year. Some of these guys,
Yeah.
and
that's probably one too many.
well, we kind
For
of
a
have to.
couple of them, yeah. Like my wife.
But that's exactly where this show started.
I'm in deep shit. She listens to this too.
She does, yeah.
I force her to, but she listens to it. It's kind of like sex. I force her to, but she doesn't.
That's a bunch of bullshit because she will intermittently tell me and be like, that show was awesome or that show is really good. It made
She
me
doesn't
laugh.
tell me that.
Well, she's not going to tell you. She's not going to give you any fucking criticism or any positive reinforcement.
Well, she gives me plenty of criticism after sex.
Well, duh, because you have a tiny dick.
Just because I can't reach your larynx doesn't mean
Yes, that is.
I'm the fluffer, not the blower.
When Derek
Just got to get it tapped
finishes, Katie usually says,
Don't
"Are you in yet?" And that's that's how we know it's over.
welcome to the Derek sleeping on the fucking couch episode for the next 6 weeks. I might be late these next few weeks, guys, because it's probably gonna fuck my neck up.
Sorry, from her hitting you.
No, the couch is uncomfortable.
Oh, gotcha.
You should get a more comfortable couch. That's what the real lesson here is, guys. Get a comfortable couch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get a
man.
sleep number couch.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was this whole idea of the show. I came to Derek and I said, hey, man, I want to do a sports show. I want to do a sports talk show, but I want it to be funny and I want you to be able to do whatever you want to do, being a stand-up comic. And then we asked Jeremy to be a part of it.
Yeah, you
And
were
I
like,
said
do you
no.
know? You were like, do you know anybody,
know anybody else that
funny
would?
that
Yeah.
would do that? And I said, not really. And then, like, I would just scrolling through Facebook, and like Jeremy had posted a meme, and I was like, all right, well, maybe Jeremy, I guess.
So
I was like,
terrible.
what are you doing?
But true.
And Jeremy was like, well, I'm fucking doing autoerotic asphyxiation right now. I'm kind of busy. I've got a belt around my neck, and my hands are full. But I said, well, would you like to do the show? Jeremy's like,
I'm going to tell you right now. I love the guy who
Does autoerotic asphyxiation.
Well, I love him too, but I'm a big Carradine fan. But I love the guy who, in the middle of jerking off with a noose around his neck, would still return a text. That is my favorite guy in the world.
it was on FaceTime. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I just kind of popped in. It was Facebook Live.
Oh, shit.
It was Facebook Live, is what it was, and I hit the like, and then Jeremy's like, "Hey, you're watching." I was like, "Yeah." I don't know why I'm watching, but I'm watching.
The guy who would be sitting there going, I got to take this. What's up? Nothing. Oh, nothing.
So long story short, Jeremy comes on. We do the first episode, and the first episode is one of my favorite ones that we've ever done by far. Just because of
and then we ran out of material.
well, no, because Jeremy told the 1984 Kingman County T-Ball Defensive Player of the Year award winner
Yeah,
story. So if you have not listened to that episode, please do go back and at least listen to the first 15 minutes. That's where Jeremy goes on. And truth be told,
listen to all the episodes, not just that.
well,
one.
not just that one, definitely, but truth be told, Jeremy told that story and then told it again. I was laughing just as hard both times. It's a great story, and it explains the 1984 Kingman County T-Ball Defensive Player of the Year award winner. So do yourself a favor and check that out. It was hilarious.
I don't want to say it was the worst moment I had on stage, but it was the most awkward.
Yeah.
Just because they weren't, like hating what I was doing. They were confused. They were legitimately confused by what was happening.
Right.
And I didn't know at that time how to solve that issue.
Yeah.
I think my worst moment on stage, I did a show. It was Todd Yon was in town, and we all love Todd Yon here when he comes to the club. He's a great guy and fucking hilarious.
Bob and Tom legend.
We all would shotgun kind of emceeing for Todd, basically. Like, so I would do the Friday show, and then somebody else would do the Saturday show, and somebody else would do the Wednesday show.
Sure.
And we just kind of mix it up that way. And I ended up doing, I think it was the Friday show. And Friday early show, I did great. I killed. And then the second show came on, and I just ate shit. Which usually late show, it was Friday or Saturday, and usually the late shows on the weekends are pretty rough. They're already drunk, and
Friday late show's always the worst.
Yeah.
They're tired from work.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there, but they don't want to be at home. And
Yeah,
so
and
this is like the people who are young enough to still have energy at that time. They're at the club.
Yeah.
And so it's the adults with money who really don't want to be there, but don't want to admit they're so old that they got to go home by 9:30.
and 9 out of 10 of them don't know who they're there to see. They're just there.
Yeah.
So I fucking eat shit the second show. And I remember the guy that ran the club, his name was Mark. He's kind of a Southern guy, and he goes, when you're doing like that, you just get the fuck off stage and just let them do their time, and you just cut your time short. But I was always taught to fill my time. I'd only been doing it like a couple of years, and so fast forward like a year and a half later, and one of the guy that runs the club here in town now went to go buy a car, and they get to chatting, and he's like, "Oh, you're a comedian? Are you out there at that Looney Bin Comedy Club?" And he goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Yeah, we went there last year, and man, the guy that was there, the last guy, man, he was really funny. He was around Riverfest, which is a white trash festival we have here."
Yeah, exactly.
And
Wichita.
they used to book him then because that was the best way to compete with Riverfest, because that was the best comic that came through. And he goes, "Oh, okay, well then you would have seen Todd Yon." He goes, "Yeah, and the middle guy, he was all right. He was pretty good." And he goes, "But that first guy, ugh." I think we all felt bad for that guy, and that was me.
And it really is. I've only bombed real bad a couple of times, but in good experienced comics, when they bomb, best thing in the world to watch.
Yeah.
Because they know how to handle it. Mm-hmm. We get to do it so infrequently that we're still questioning, shit, are these jokes even actually funny or not? Whereas they go and they get laughs all the time with their shit, so they're not questioning the material. They're not questioning their legitimacy as a performer. So they just have fun with it and fuck with the crowd. Whereas I'm sitting up there just,
panic mode.
Oh my God, I'm ruining the fucking show. and it really, everybody's looking at you.
Oh, duh.
And you took that position to be up there front and center going, judge me. that really is the name of that game, and you feel so rejected.
Yeah.
And it feels almost like a personal slight. In fact, the only couple of times that I've really bombed, I was more pissed.
I'm sure.
Felt bad.
I'm sure.
Motherfuckers.
You want to blame it on the crowd so bad, like they just didn't get me.
And a lot of times it is their fault.
I never can blame the crowd. I always blame myself because I'm like, I should. Like I went up and I try to get away from all of it now, but I used to do fucking just real lowbrow shit. And I remember I walked in on a ladies' night and I was going up and I was like, oh, I know this joke's gonna eat shit, but I'm gonna close with it. And I did, and it ate shit. And I was like, well, at least I learned something. Like,
that I did a ladies' night up there one time where I have a 8-minute bit about the time a girl stuck her finger in my ass.
Oh God.
Which usually does good at like bar shows because I'm used to performing in front of like drunk barflies. But Thursday night is ladies' night at the Looney Bin here in town, and that ladies' night, those ladies are actually ladies, and it's like the book club. Let's pick something different to do this week. And they're usually in their 50s.
Right.
And boy, were they a bunch of fucking prudes. It was sold out that night, mostly of middle-aged, prudish women. And I was stuck in that bit. And
They
it's a
still
bit that
make
you.
those?
Yeah.
No way.
But it was a bit that you can't stop in the middle of.
So you were committed at that point.
And I mean, I'm sure that there is a way. But I wasn't a good enough comedian to understand that. I'm like, shit, this is what I've started. I got to fucking finish it. And they are hating me for it, too. I walked 2 people out of the room that night.
Shit.
And it's my first night of hosting for that weekend. And 2 people left because of the host. I'm like, fuck, they're going to tell me not to come back the rest of the week. But no, they're like, just don't do that material again. Because I went up to the front to the manager and I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I really thought that material would be good. And they could tell that I wasn't being defiant.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of comedians that go, no, fuck that. This is my shit. This is my art.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I did that, which was great.
Well, the cool thing, though, is that I got to see both of you guys when you were kind of, I don't want to say in your prime, but
when we were already on the downhill of our
I never had a prime.
You were established. You guys have had multiple hours being up in
Yes,
front of
yes.
people,
Yeah.
and so you learned you learned everything, and you guys killed it whenever I was there. I laughed my ass off to Jeremy, and I laughed my ass off to you.
My favorite was I opened for Rob Schneider 2 times when he came through here, 2 separate times.
Yep.
And the first time I had maybe I think I was supposed to do 10, and I had maybe 12 minutes total. Mm-hmm. And I was doing 10 of it. And I was like, all right. So I had my shit all figured out, what I was going to do. I'd rehearse it over and over and over again. It was a sold out show. It was at the old club. It held probably over 250 people. And right before I'm getting ready to go up,
That's a big A-list room.
the club owner goes, what you do? He goes, I don't want no innuendos. I don't want no nothing. You be squeaky clean. No cuss words, no sex stuff, nothing. And I'm like, fuck, that's like half my shit. And I've reworked everything in my head now. Like right before the show starts, I have to retool everything. And I got through it, and I didn't do bad by any means. I didn't bomb, but I should have done way better. And so the year later, he comes back through town, and I was like, hey, can I open the show again? And he said, yeah, that's fine. And they come up to me again, and they were like, no innuendos, no nothing. And I'm like, I'm doing what the fuck I'm going to do. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not going to eat shit. And so I went up there, and I did exactly what I was planning on doing the whole time anyway. And after the show was over, I got like 2 texts, and then they wanted me to go work one of the other clubs like in Little Rock. And I was like, all right, we're good.
No, but you guys are a lot of fun to watch. I've seen both of you again.
Yeah, we get it, Scotty.
I
We're
get it.
great.
You guys are great. But what's your sports connection? Like, where did this obsession come in? I know where mine came in. I mean, for those of you guys who don't know me, I played college baseball. I was first team All-State in 06, and that was my love of baseball. That's where it happened. My stepdad kind of brought me up, and he was a great baseball player. You know my stepdad, and
Yeah.
and he was back in the day. He was an excellent baseball player, and so whenever
And a great fluffer. Yeah.
I got
That's where he
that's
got
where
that
I,
from.
that's where I
The
got that
acorn
from.
does not fall far from the tree.
Right,
That's,
and my mother and my uncle were all kind of athletes, and Mark was an athlete, who was my stepdad, and my dad was an awesome. My real dad was an awesome, cheerleader, but I didn't get to spend very much time with him. But that was where my love of baseball was. My stepdad and my mom, and he coached me all the way from whenever I was. That was our kind of connection.
Yeah.
Whenever he wanted to marry my mom, and I was just like, hell yeah, because this guy's, one of my best friends and taught me how to play baseball. So that's where that came in. And so that's where the obsession started. So I went through Mark, and my dad loves the fucking Bears.
Yeah. I like your dad.
I know you like my dad, but yeah, he likes you too. But anyway, so that's where I come from. I come from that side of the obsession. And then we had season tickets to Wichita State games, and that's why I'm a huge Wichita State fan since I was like 4 or 5. I can't even remember. But what about you guys? Like, where was your obsession? Where did your obsession
I
start
don't
with
like
this?
sports.
So full of shit.
I would say, from a very little kid playing catch and stuff with my dad, as Kevin Costner, improperly puts it, having a catch.
Having a catch?
I fucking hate that. Field of Dreams.
Yes, I
Dad,
know.
you want to have a catch?
You wanna have a
Nobody
catch?
fucking says that.
It sounds like something you get after you fucking a hooker unprotected.
Yeah, exactly. You want to have a catch and a STD.
Yeah.
Yes. But during the summertime, that was kind of our big thing. Weren't in school, so we had no bedtime, and we got to stay up late, and we'd sit out on the back porch in lawn chairs because the Royals were never on TV. They just
Back then?
yeah.
Were they on the radio, though?
Yes. So we would listen to them on the radio.
Okay.
And I
They
grew
didn't
up
have
with
TVs back then, did they?
they had them,
But-
but they weren't good.
Were they black and white?
No, we had colors.
Damn it, we're not that fucking
Oh, I
old.
thought he was pretty old.
No.
Well.
Fucking shit.
Beard's
I swear
great.
to God, I'm gonna fucking walk off this motherfucker. Okay, here's the
Sorry, I get the jabs for fluffing and shit. Anyway.
But so anyhow, I grew up listening to Fred White and Denny Matthews on the radio, calling Royals games. And, I was fortunate enough when I was growing up until I was 8 years old, the Royals made the postseason every year. So there was always something to root. I mean, they didn't make it every year, but most years they won.
That was the years around with George Brett.
Yes.
Mainly.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had a practical all-star team at one point. And then, when I was 8 years old in 85, they won the World Series over your Cardinals.
Thanks.
And then they went on a 30-year drought.
Yeah.
But I had already been hooked on them, and every year died a little when they would come up short, and then come up way short, and then be the laughing stock of the fucking major leagues. But I just never stopped rooting for my guys. And, I played some baseball. We didn't have a high school baseball team. I'm from a very small town, about 400 people. So if we'd have had a baseball team, we'd have had no track team. So it was, that was just kind of the reality of it. But we played summer ball, and I got pretty good at it. And, I'd considered playing some college ball. I got hurt my hip, and really couldn't go much further. But not that I necessarily would have. But, for a bigger guy, I was real good defensive outfielder. Defense, that's my thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
T-ball up. But, like in football, my brother, for some reason, was a huge Houston Oilers fan.
That's weird.
And he was 6 years older than me. Well, he saw there was a legendary Monday Night Football game where Earl Campbell just tore the shit out of the Miami Dolphins. And, it was the greatest running back performance ever on Monday Night Football. And I guess he fell in love with him. And then my brother was 6 years older than me, so I wanted to be like my brother. So I became this huge Houston Oilers fan. But when they left Houston,
Tennessee.
I kind of followed them to Tennessee until they kind of made this decision that we're wiping out all the previous records, and we're going to start anew. So Earl Campbell is not the franchise rushing leader.
Right.
Eddie George is, which is at that point when they did that, I kind of said, you know what? The team that I know is dead.
Right.
So by default, I became a Chiefs fan.
I wonder if the Houston Texans took on that.
Nope.
They did not.
The Titans are the same franchise.
Right.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if
Same
they...
colors and everything.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
In fact, they were the Tennessee Oilers for a year or two.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think you're right, yeah.
I know I'm right. I followed them. So I got to be witness to be the fan of the team who was on the losing end of the two biggest second half comebacks in playoff history.
Yep.
Of the Oilers and the Chiefs. And God, in the 90s, for so many years, the Oilers were the class of the AFC and should have gone to the Super Bowl so many times and just kept petering out in the fucking playoffs, just like what the Chiefs do. And so I got to put some of the blame for that on me.
Yeah.
And, but, I've just always loved the mainstream sports. K-State, been a K-State fan. A lot of my family went to K-State.
Did you graduate from K-State?
I didn't go to K-State.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of my family did,
Sure.
and so it was just I was kind of raised to be a K-State fan. And when all growing up, K-State football especially, they were the number one losingest program in all of Division I college football.
Which is crazy to think about now.
And in 1988, I was rooting for them then. At the end of the 1988 season, Sports Illustrated ranked the 107 Division I teams 1 to 107, and K-State was 107th. And next year, Coach Bill Snyder comes in. By 1998, they're ranked number 1 in the nation. And
about right.
Nobody has, it's the greatest coaching accomplishment in the history of sports. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's ever pulled a turnaround like that.
You're biased.
No, I can't find one example that even comes.
Can you imagine
close.
9 years of how great Les Miles would be if in 9 years fucking KU is number 1? They're the fucking worst. They're the worst college football program, I think, now, period.
They've been damn close to it.
I remember watching PTI and Michael Wilbon just saying almost to scrap it. Like, it is the worst. That was on PTI like 2-3 years ago.
I don't know. That's a stretch. They're in the Big 12. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good conference. But
People always gave K-State shit for scheduling cupcake teams in their off non-conference schedule. Dude, they used to be the team that Cupcake scheduled so they'd have somebody to beat up on.
Right.
They were the absolute worst. It's hard to put into words how horrible they were. A lot of, I think, some of the better high school teams maybe could have beaten them.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least now, now that we're here and nowadays, KU is going to get that, and I hope they take an absolutely huge nosedive. Either that, or they use some of Bill Self's money that he's spending on basketball players for the college football team.
I would like to see them crawl back into relevance. I don't want to see them be good, but
I don't even want to see him.
I just want it to be something to beat them.
Yeah.
That's me.
But anyway, what about you, Derek?
Well, it was never easy for me. I was Born a poor black child.
Oh God, don't do it.
I remember the days sitting on the porch with my family singing and dancing down in Mississippi. That was actually the beginning of The Jerk. The Jerk. Yeah, from Steve Martin.
One of the greatest comedies of all time.
I'm sitting here going, oh, plane crash right here. Oh.
That's a great movie if you've never seen that movie. It's fucking hilarious.
It would so never fly today.
No, like a lot of great movies wouldn't.
Oh, man.
But no, for me, I grew up in Illinois. I grew up in kind of like one of those. I don't want to call it really a border. It was right smack dab in the middle of Illinois, but like where I lived at, either you were a Cubs fan or you were a Cardinal fan. It was 50-50.
Which is weird to me.
Yeah, I mean it was 2.5 hours to Chicago and 3 hours to St. Louis as a drive. So it was like right smack dab in between almost. And my dad was a Cardinal fan, and my stepdad was, and my mom was like, "You should like the Cubs since your stepdad's a Cardinal fan," just to fucking needle him.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did. And my stepdad tried everything. He bought me fucking Cardinals baseball cards that I fucking paper clipped in the spokes of my bikes or clothespin them in. And,
God.
Yeah. And so I started out with baseball that way. I remember I started collecting baseball cards. I think it was 1990. One of my friends did, and so I was like, "Oh, cool."
Did you get that card?
I didn't. I don't know if I ever got the Randy McCammon. Upper Deck was a little expensive back in 1990. I was still getting tops with the bubble gum and shit.
Okay, all right.
God, that was good gum.
Yeah,
That was terrible gum, but good cards.
I cut my mouth on that gum.
So yeah, I did that and started collecting cards and doing that, and then got real big into baseball cards all through high school, really, and then moved out to Kansas when I was 18. And actually, believe it or not, football-wise, in the 90s, I didn't watch a lot of it. I didn't really.
Which surprises me.
Yeah, I didn't really get into football until probably, I'd say high school. We watched the Super Bowl, but I don't remember a lot of them. I rooted for the Cowboys, believe it or not, when I was younger.
Oh, God.
It was the 90s. It was Aikman. It was Emmett. It
Can
was
you
Irvin.
hear my eyes rolling?
I was going to say, you want to kick him off the show now or wait?
I did. And then I moved out here.
He got better.
I moved out here to Kansas when I was 18, and I kind of not started all over, but I started to get into football when I moved out here. And I was like, well, I'm going to root for the home team. I'm going to root for the Bears. And so really 1999, 2000 was when I started rooting for Chicago, back when they had like Jim Miller, Shane Matthews.
Right.
I mean, we weren't great. It was right about Urlacher's rookie year.
Oh, okay.
So that's when I really started, and then I got more and more diehard as it went through. The Cubs, I've been a fan since as long as I can remember. My grandfather used to always have the games on. They were always on WGN when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember that.
And my grandpa always had the games. Yeah, I actually have the bell now that he's passed away, but it's got a little Cubs logo on it. When they'd win, he would call his buddy that was a Cardinals fan and ring the bell on the phone.
Oh, my God.
be
That's
like,
going to be
"Holy
us,
cow,
isn't it?
Cubs win."
Oh, my God. That's
So,
going to be us.
I've
Nobody
got
makes
that bell.
phone calls these days.
And then I got into hockey, and I rooted for the Blackhawks, and
You would root for the Blackhawks.
and I've always been a University of Illinois fan. A lot of people think I hate the University of Kansas because Bill Self went there, but that threw gas on the fire. I didn't like KU from. I was out here because we moved out here when I was like 12 and lived here for like a year and a half, 2 years, and moved back, and then I would come visit my stepdad in the summers occasionally, and because I'm super close with my stepdad, and I was at like a buddy of my stepdad's house. We were playing poker, and I was 15 maybe, and KU was playing, and then one of the guys that was in there was like, "Look at fucking Roy Williams. He's a goddamn crybaby. Fucking cry, Roy. All you do is fucking cry." And I started watching the game, and I was like, man, that guy is fucking crying a lot. And so from then on, I just didn't like KU. That was the one thing, and I was like, fuck him. And then I moved
because a man showed emotion and men ain't supposed to cry.
I'll tell you what, I never wore a Band-Aid when I was a kid because my dad told me they were for pussies.
Sure. That's the same reason I didn't wear a bike helmet. My mom said you look like a pussy in that.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus.
So and that's why I don't wear condoms to this day.
Yeah.
But so sure, it burns when I pee, but by God, I'm a man and it should.
That's why your wife actually said, that looks like a pussy.
Yeah.
She pointed right at it.
But
It goes inside.
Oh, Jesus.
no, but that's why I originally didn't like KU, and then after living here and being around KU fans like crazy, then Bill Self left, and then I was like,
No,
all right,
Roy Williams left.
Well, I didn't care that Williams left. Bill Self left Illinois
I
to go
gotcha.
and I was an Illinois fan, and I was like, all right, motherfuckers, Like I went from a pretty strong dislike to a hate that borders on psychosis.
Well, at least they picked up a real good coach in his stead.
Bruce Weber.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, after a while living out here, I was like, well, I'll root for a Kansas team. It was before I knew Scotty. I didn't really care about Wichita State that much.
Sure.
And I was like, I'll root for a Kansas team. I was like, I like Frank Martin. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm going to root for Frank Martin.
Yeah.
And then fucking Frank Martin leaves. And I was like, as long as they don't hire Bill Self, because I'd wanted Bill Self fired for years.
Right.
And then, or not Bill Self, but Bruce Weber. I was like, as long as they don't hire Bruce Weber. And then they hire Bruce Weber, and I was like, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm not going back on this train.
Right.
So, and then I started going to games with Scotty's stepdad, and we talked about how disappointed he was in Scotty and kind of bonded over that.
Thanks, man.
And about how, like, Scotty would print off porno pictures, like, instead of just jerking off to him on the screen like a normal human being.
Right. He
literally would print them off, and then he had, like, Scotty...
He actually told me that printing off the porno pictures was the thing he's most proud of with Scotty. and that's real disappointing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just gets worse from there.
No, there was no penises on there.
Well,
that's not what I heard. But,
What?
so anyway, so then Scotty started, so I started going to games with his dad. So then I started kind of rooting for Wichita State. And that's really about the only Kansas team I root for outside of the Royals. And I kind of got to watch the Royals.
That's a Missouri team.
I know.
Okay.
I kind of got to watch the Royals.
it's in the name, Kansas City.
I get it.
I got to watch them kind of bloom and peak because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
started
we both
going.
did.
I was going to games like because my dad lives in Kansas City, and I was going to games like crazy, just because it was something to do and it was something for me and my dad to go do. Kind of like do stuff that we didn't do a lot of that when I was a kid.
Right.
He took me to Yankee Stadium. I don't remember it. He took me to Dodger Stadium, and I was like 8, and I don't really have a lot of memory of that. But we started going to Royals games together, and I started going to they used to have a pack they would give out where it was like buy one, get one free on tickets.
Of course, because
So,
they tried.
they were bad.
They were bad.
Oh, God, yes. You could get upper deck seats for $6.
Yeah. I remember 7 years ago, when they played the Cubs last time in Kansas City, and I remember standing in line, and I bought tickets to all 3 games, and I think I paid like $75 a ticket. Which was like, I was in for $225, and I remember people still being able to get GA tickets. General, like day of the game, you could get tickets, and they walked up to the window and they just wanted the cheap seats. The guy was like, "God dang, man, these are fucking $20 a ticket." And I look over and I just started laughing, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess you're probably used to paying a lot more than that, huh?" And I was like, "Shit, in Chicago they're like $200 a ticket, and this is." Fucking Kosuke Fukudome, Alfonso Soriano years, we weren't good.
Yeah.
Chuck McElroy.
Yeah, the Royals beat us 2 out of 3 because I remember when that game was going on, I don't know how the fuck this happened, but I would start chasing autographs from players, and so my first autograph I got at a game was Todd Wellemeyer, who ended up pitching for the Royals for a little bit. I get a Todd Wellemeyer autograph. I actually shoved a kid down to get it.
You fucking.
That's true. That was at Wrigley. I shoved him
He
down.
shouldn't have been in
out
the
of
fucking way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Wellemeyer signs my hat, and I dropped it on Wrigley Field, and I fucking was like, "Oh my god, touched the field!" I was just like, it was like amazing to me. And he signs the hat, and the next year he's traded the Royals, and so I'm like, "Fuck." So I go on the next year, I get Ronnie Cedeno's autograph, who was a big shortstop prospect we had, and he was up in the majors, and I get his autograph at Wrigley, and I'm like, "Yeah." He gets traded to the Pirates. I'm like, "Fuck." So then I started like everybody I get gets traded. So then I started chasing down players I didn't like. So like one year we had 2 second basemen. We had Mike Fontenot and we had Aaron Miles, who used to be a Cardinal, and they were both fucking awful. And I got both their autographs on one ball. The only 2 second basemen we had, both fucking traded the next year. One cut, one traded.
You're the curse, bro.
And so then I remember Samardzija was pitching at that Royals series. And I was like, Samardzija, because he was fucking awful too. I still hate Samardzija. And they treat him like he's an ace there for a little bit, and he wasn't. And I remember he got fucking shellacked that game. And I went during the national. I had to go to the bathroom. The national anthem was playing, and I didn't care. I had to go. And so I was taking a shit. So that's a real hard dilemma. Like, do you still stand while shitting for the anthem?
You absolutely do.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
I take a knee while shitting during the anthem. That's how I do
Yeah.
it.
I will
get,
say-
I get a lot of shit on the back of my Duluth Trading
In the
Company
toilet.
jeans.
Yeah, like I went to use the bathroom, and mid shit, that's like, "All right, please take your hats off and stand." And I'm like, okay. That
Taking your handoff shouldn't have been the hard part.
That was,
You could have done
yeah,
like that.
duck walked out to where I could see the flag. Like God, we're gonna piss some people off with this. So it was the most peaceful shit I've ever taken. I will say that. But
'Cause you were
I
the only
remember
one in there.
I will never forget my Facebook post after that game because we got slaughtered. And I said, and Samardzija got rocked. And I said, well, today, me and Jeff Samardzija had something in common. We both took giant dumps at Kauffman Stadium. Only mine was in the men's room and his was on the pitcher's mound.
I believe I said something like that in what was it? It was 2015, no 2016, after the Royals had won the World Series before, and God damn it, who was the guy, the starting pitcher for the Royals that
Ventura?
No,
got killed?
No, not him. No, the other funny story. The guy whose dad died the day he pitched that Game 6.
Was it Volquez?
Or no,
Edison
it was
Volquez?
game 2. Yes, Edison Volquez. He had come in 2016 and gave up like 10 runs in the first 2 innings. Just got shelled, and I posted on Facebook. Well, at least you know your dad didn't have to see that. Oh God. Which is funny. It's funny because it's true.
Oh, that's fucking great.
That's fucking terrible.
I love it.
That's awful.
When you're being paid what you get paid to do what you do and work
God.
only every 5th day, fuck you if you go out there and shit the bed.
Emotionally, poor guy.
He doesn't follow me.
I know, but
He listens to this podcast.
Probably. Now he's gonna fucking have hitmen come and kill you.
And then I used
doubt it.
to be a Laker fan too.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I actually thought Magic Johnson's first name was Magic.
Oh well.
So I was like 6.
Well, dumb kids, you know.
Yeah,
think
and I know
that shit.
Jeremy's joke about Magic.
It's not my joke.
Okay. But I thought that was his real name, and so I was I've been a Laker fan, and then like I said, when they got LeBron, I was like, done.
Yep.
So now right now my fandom is up for auction.
And my
So-
my football fandom is up for auction as
I
well.
told you just need to fucking go with me.
I
and your
can't
dad.
do it, man. I won't root against you. I won't do that. You know, my
Let,
dad's a
let,
Bears
let
fan.
us cheer for a team together for once, Scotty.
Nah.
I cheered for your Shockers.
That's true.
And what happened to him?
yeah.
Final Four.
Hey, we made it to the Final Four of the NIT, and we thought we were going nowhere all season.
No, the Final Four when that was the year I started rooting for them.
Oh!
That was the
yeah,
year
that
your
was-
dad started
man,
taking
that
me.
Was the
Your
best. That was
stepdad.
one of the best years of my life.
That was the year your stepdad started taking me to the games,
Best
and I
years
went
of
to
my
like
life.
4 games that year. And
It's weird your stepdad does so many things with Derek.
Not
And
really.
nothing with you.
Not really. No,
That's-
no. Me and my
He
stepdad.
has said I'm the son he never had.
True.
Right.
He has said that.
Yeah.
But no.
Wish
That he
you
al-
could
that he
get rid
always
of that
wanted.
stepdaughter that he's got.
Right.
Yeah, he said he always wanted a boy.
Yeah. You're such a. No. Like total class act. Both my dad and my stepdad.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. They both are, and
Because they think I'm funny.
well, that too.
Yes.
But no,
One of
no,
them does, anyway.
my stepdad and Derek are. I mean, you guys started hanging out before you and
Yeah.
I did.
I was his bartender.
Yeah, you were his bartender, so he'd go and he'd talk to you and drink with you and stuff like that. And
I'll be
That's how
honest
you
with
guys
you.
do.
Usually, stepdad having a personal bartender doesn't usually wind up with happy stories.
no, normally it's behind the bar on your knees kind of thing.
Well, I was.
It was
wasn't
that kind of
going
bar.
there with it.
it was.
But,
it was
yeah, it was out in front where everybody
Sure.
could see. He put on a show.
right. But anyways, I wanted to go over. Have you guys ever had any like really funny stories at ballparks?
No.
None.
Shut it off.
Fuck's sake.
Just right now. Just get rid of that fucking. Step on that fucker like a cockroach.
Jeremy's banned from like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I got thrown out of Arrowhead Stadium once.
Ooh,
Oh, do tell.
do tell.
Very well. I'll go on. It was a preseason game, and my wife and I had gotten tickets from somebody who had season tickets.
Right.
And they were playing the Cardinals, I believe. And the people who had the tickets just didn't want them. They gave them to us. They had 3 seats. There was only 2 of us. I couldn't even sell it ahead of the time. Well, a scalper offered me $5 for it. It was a $75 ticket. I wasn't going to do it. Oh, God. And so, anyways, we get there plenty early. It's just me and my wife. And we're tailgating, grilling. Somebody stole our fucking grill.
Oh, shit.
We bought the most expensive one that Walmart had to sell, and
$15.
got to use it once. No,
Well, if it came from Walmart, you weren't going to get to use it more than probably once or twice
anyways,
anyway.
yeah.
Right. Well, it was like $45.
Oh, wow.
This is Suncoast.
Oh, yeah.
Suncoast, motherfuckers.
Sunbelt or Suncoast or Sunbeam. Sunbeam is the shitty brand they sell.
It is the least important part of this story. That's what I know. But so, anyways,
I'm gonna fucking blast my Spark-O-Matic on the way home.
Fuck yeah, you got a bass cannon? Get you a Jensen subwoofer.
Yeah.
Fuck, some
Lanzar 5
Spark-O-Matic
amps.
6x9s. Fuck yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways,
That's what I get.
so anyway, we're drinking a bunch before the game. Well, I'm drinking a bunch before the game. My wife knows she has to drive. And so we go in the game. And the seats we have are like on the 30-yard line, but they're last row up before this one special row on the first level. This special row right behind us has this little like ledge, this table thing in front of them, goes all the way around the stadium, but they get like their ticket price includes like 2 liters of soda and little snacks, peanuts and M&Ms and shit, and little cups that you get, and I think that's unlimited. But anyways, they play that song Black Betty whenever they're about to do the opening kickoff, and everybody stands and claps, right? And I'm holding like my 4th stadium beer. So
he's $80 in.
I'm into this about $200. We've taken out a second mortgage on the house so I can drink more. And and I asked this guy behind me, hey, can I set my beer here on this ledge while we clap? No. And I just kind of shoot him this look, and he goes, we paid for these seats. You didn't. I'm like, oh, you fucking dick. Because I guess these seats cost extra.
Let the games begin.
Right. So, like I say, this is a preseason game. The starters are playing the first half. And so I decided I'm going to ruin this game for this guy. So I stood right in front of him the whole game. And wherever the ball moved to, we had that open seat, and I would move to that spot, just wherever I could get in between my eye line. You know, the eye line between him and where the ball is.
But you haven't discussed the open seat yet.
Yeah, well, I said there were 3 seats. I couldn't sell
gotcha.
the one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to sell it for $5
that.
to the
That's
scalper.
my fault.
Pay attention, Scotty!
Sorry.
Shut up!
Anyway, so I'm just pacing this open space between the seats, staying in this guy's fucking view. And security guy comes down, and he says, hey, buddy, you ever going to sit down? I said, I don't know. Why? Well, you're kind of obstructing the view for everybody. You know, I said, well, you know, I paid for this seat. He didn't. And he kind of looks at me funny, and I go, apparently that's the rules around here. And he said, well, you've paid for the seat you're in, but, you know, that you didn't pay for that space over there, so you need to stay in front of your seat. And I pull out the 3rd ticket, and I go, bam! And I put it right up in his face, and he goes, oh, okay. And he walks away. Well, after the halftime, I decide I'm not done being a dick yet. And so the starters aren't even in now, but I'm still doing all this shit. And I've had several more beers at this point, growing ever more belligerent and just still stewing about, we paid for these seats, you didn't. It's a fucking preseason game, you fucking asshole. So anyways, and I was completely oblivious to the fact that the seat in front of me on the back is a cup holder. So I didn't need this guy's ledge. But this was 14 years ago probably.
Sure.
And so I was much younger and just so full of piss and vinegar. And again, this security guard comes down and he said, sir, can I have a word with you? And he brings me up to the little like entryway, I don't know what you call that, where the fucking concession
Concourse
stand
or whatever.
Yes. And he's there with this other gentleman who is enormous, another security guard, who I later found out was on the Chiefs practice squad, a guard on their practice squad.
Jeez.
And this guy is like, sir, we really would appreciate it if you would sit down. You know, you can stand up at the appropriate times, but you're really obstructing people's views. And I just fucking go off on what a dick this fucking guy is and how I have the right to do whatever the fuck I want. I paid for these seats. He didn't. And I'm tired of people fucking getting in my face about this shit and just showing off how much I'm just as good as you are. Fuck, you ain't better than me, you know, this shit. And he goes, sir, I'm going to, actually the bigger guy steps in. He goes, okay, you got 2 options here. You can go sit down and enjoy the rest of the game, or you can stand here and be belligerent. Which is it going to be? And I look at my wife, who was shaking her head, to which I misinterpreted it to mean, you the man, go for it. So I said, I'm going to stand here and be belligerent. Fuck this. And next thing I know, this big dude has me tied up, like fucking arms crossed. He's got me in some kind of hold I can't get out of, saying that I put my hands on him, which I didn't. I don't really remember a whole lot. But they're escorting me to the front gate with my wife following, who is just proud as she can be at this point. I mean, I'm assuming that when we get out, she's going to carry me to the car on her shoulders. It's a long walk, but it's going to be a parade, ticker tape. Look at how fucking badass my husband is. He don't give in to nobody. They take both of my tickets. They didn't take hers. But, yeah, that was a long ride back to the hotel. And so, yeah, that was the time that I got kicked out of an NFL stadium.
Nice. Derek.
I got a couple. One's kind of a quick one that doesn't involve me, and the
Well,
other
we're at an hour, so we got
one super quick.
No, you're good. I'm just telling you we're at an hour.
Okay. So one of them is about just a horrible people behind me.
Nice.
This one. The Cubs it's an 11.5-hour drive for me to drive to Wrigley. I try to every year, or I'll fly.
Really that long?
Yeah.
Oh, we're flying. If we
So I've driven it plenty of times, but so I'll go to visiting parks. Like I just went to Texas to see him play not long ago. A few weeks ago, I went and did that.
Yep.
And I'll go to St. Louis and watch him play. I took you to St. Louis.
Yeah, you did.
I went last year with my dad. I took my dad to St. Louis to watch it, and my dad's more a Royals fan now than anything. But I gave him a Cubs jersey to wear, and we're watching the game.
Did he wear it?
Yeah, he did. The guy next to me. The guy that was sitting next to me actually is from like San Diego and brought his brother, but they're originally from Chicago, and they would go in like to different parks every year and meet up and go watch a Cubs game, which is pretty cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, and so I was chatting with him, super nice guy. And then the game's about the second or third inning, and here come the people that are sitting in the seats behind us. They'd been empty till now.
What inning is this?
About the second or third inning.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the game's been going on. We already had the lead. We were up 1-0, I think. And this chick comes down, and she's that's the middle of the inning, and so they're playing whatever song, and she's sitting there just dancing along, and she's got her cup, and she's beer sloshing out of it, and it splashes on the guy that's sitting next to me. And the guy turns around and he says, "Hey," real politely, he's like, "Hey, would you would you please be a little more careful? You know, you're spilling your beer on me." And the guy next to her or her boyfriend or whatever, is like, "He's kidding." He's like, "No, like you're really spilling your beer on me. Would you just please be more careful?" And she just starts going off like, "You're in our fucking field. You're in our field. You just deal with it. You're in our field. What a fucking asshole." Like all pissed off about it. And so then she starts getting down, like literally in my ear, because I'm sitting next to him, and I feel her hair fucking smacking me in the back of the head.
Oh no.
She's screaming at the top of my lungs right in my ear every time the Cardinals would do something or score. And I remember we hit a 2-run home run that took the lead, and I almost lost my fucking voice for a week because I jumped up and was just, yeah, like at the top of my fucking lungs, going nuts over a fucking 4-3 lead in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
You know, like that was a walk-off, and we just won the World Series. And her boyfriend just starts in on me, and I think they were leaving early and they were losing. I think at one point I even turned around and go, "Where are you going?" Like, they were the most obnoxious fucking people. Horrible. I mean,
Not every person that happens to be a fan of a team that we hate is a bad person.
no, those people were.
But those people are assholes.
Yes. one of the funniest things I've ever witnessed at a fucking baseball stadium was at Kauffman Stadium. We're me and a buddy are in a line at one of the concession stands to get they have like specialty hot dogs. They'll have like a Chicago hot dog or a Texas hot dog, and
nope,
so
that's the story I'm thinking of. So keep on going.
We're in line to get this hot dog, and all of a sudden, and the line's long, and these people are moving at about a snail's pace, right? And if you have never been to Kauffman Stadium, the staff looks like they all just got out of rehab. So they're very, and some of them,
very true.
Yeah, and some of them didn't graduate; they just left. So,
and the great thing about that concourse right there, that's where everybody throws their trash away. Also,
yeah,
and it's baking in the sun.
Yes,
so it smells delicious.
It is just hot concession stand garbage.
Yes,
wafting through the whole place. It smells like a dumpster. And I've been in a lot of dumpsters.
So we hear
true.
I'm standing in line. The line's moving slow as fuck.
That's where I lost my virginity the second time.
I'm watching these two ladies work, which are probably the only place they can go, and then it's right back to jail.
Right.
Yeah, because they're probably on work release.
Probably.
And I hear, "Fuck you, bitch!" And I'm like, did that lady just say that to a customer? Me and my buddy are looking, and nope. She said it to the other lady in the concession stand. And these two women fucking just start going back and forth at each other, just screaming, fucking spitting, cussing. And part of me is like, I really want a hot dog. I'm not getting it from this stand now, but do I watch the game or do I watch fucking this shit? Like, that was the greatest thing I've ever fucking witnessed at a baseball stadium, was watching those two fucking people just go at it.
Yeah. I one time, it was my first game back at Kauffman Stadium. Well, it had been Royal Stadium the previous time. It had been 25 years since I was there. And I brought some baseballs. I was hoping to get some autographs. Turns out, I guess, I don't know if it's team policy or major league policy, but like the bullpen pitchers, they can't sign autographs during the game.
Right.
So I decided to go around to the workers and get autographs from them. And I've got pictures all over of different fans. This one little fucking kid, he couldn't have been more than 5-6 years old, knew everything about the Royals.
Nice.
I was asking him, who's your favorite player? Because Zach Greinke was on the team at that point, so I figured that's Mark Teahan. And he knew all of his fucking stats, the obscure third baseman. I mean, just
him.
He was good. He wasn't great, but that was his favorite player. And, I mean, he knew the stats of everybody. And I'm like, you fucking loser. And I don't even know. But my friend Jamie, there was one guy out in the outfield manning the Fox Sports high-def cameras.
Yeah.
And so my friend Jamie, who at this time, I don't know if most cell phones had cameras in them at this point, but he had a regular digital camera. I think phones had cameras, but they weren't good cameras.
Yeah, they probably.
So he hands me his digital camera. He goes, "You're gonna have to take this fast," and goes and jumps behind one of the cameras like he's running it. And I take the picture, and the guy manning it, he can't leave his station. Hey, and Jamie just starts walking away, and I start following behind him because I'm getting ready to tell him, we need to duck into a bathroom because I think we're about to get thrown out. This would be 2 for 2 for me in Kansas City professional stadiums. But I mean, we got way the fuck clear around the curve, and you could still hear this guy. Hey! Hey! I mean, he wasn't even calling for security. Just, hey! Like at some point, we're going to turn around. And, oh, you talking to us?
Oh, we'll come right on back.
I don't know if you know. We knew what we were doing was wrong. I didn't even know he was going to do this. So,
shit.
just kick him out. But yeah, what did you think was going to happen from yelling? And it's not like he fucked anything up, but I would bet you, I think at the time I looked it up, and those professional high def TV cameras, $300,000.
Yeah, I'm sure every bit of it.
So I'm sure they were not happy about what
It's like
happened.
hopping behind the wheel of a Bugatti, like, hey, get this picture real quick.
And take it 60 mile an hour.
Yeah.
You would have thought he would have gone, security, get that guy. Nope. Hey! Hey! Hey!
And there's some other guy that's like, hey, way to go, buddy.
Hey, way to go, buddy. Yeah, there's still a picture
I do
of
that
it
at
on
work all
Facebook
the time,
somewhere.
and some of the people don't know the reference, but it's hilarious. When hey, way to go, buddy! And they have no idea. They just kind of turn around, look at me, and go, What is that for? It's from the first episode.
You're doing a great
Give
job.
it a listen. Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I don't have one. I don't have a really funny story from being at a ballpark. No, I take that back. All right, I'm gonna go back to when I want to say I was like 16, and I went to the Big 12 championship game. It was Oklahoma versus K-State. You're gonna remember this.
I remember this very well.
Yep, it was at Arrowhead, and my family. A lot of my family is from the Norman area, like Edmond, Oklahoma City. And I'm talking like all of my family. This is by
That's such a weird name for a
What?
town.
What?
Norman.
Norman.
Yeah. That's like a boring ass name for a guy and a weird name for a town.
you know, whatever.
My dad had a pickup truck named Norman.
Yeah.
A true story.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It was a rolling pile of shit, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
See,
It's probably a very
always-
probably a very neutral color.
but Norman.
like beige.
Why don't they just call it Oklahoma City? 'Cause that's where it is.
It's a suburb of South
what it
Oklahoma
is.
City. Anyways, Oklahoma was at the time. I want to say that they were their number one ranked team in the country. I can't remember. This is when it was a while ago.
At this point, yes, Oklahoma had
Right.
when they played the first time in the season. K-State was ranked number 2.
Okay.
And Oklahoma was just getting into the rankings because they had beat the dog shit out of Texas, but nobody thought they could hold up to K-State's defense.
Okay,
Go on.
we go to the Big 12 championship game, and I was with like my step aunt. It was kind of weird. It was, but it was people that I knew very, very well and still talk to this day. And it was my step second cousin or some shit like that I was hanging out with, and we got the better seats. But the better seats were in the K-State section, and we're all Oklahoma fans. So he had been pre-gaming going into the stadium, and then my step aunt and uncle sat across. We could see them, but they were up in the nosebleeds. But they were far, far away. My step cousin, as excellent of a human being he was getting me beers at
Nice.
16 years old, and I will say this: the K-State football fans that were around us while we were wearing Oklahoma shit all over were the most supportive people when we scored on the first drive and never scored again. They kicked the ever-living shit out of us.
Oh, you're talking about 03.
03?
When K-State.
Okay.
Yes.
I was
okay.
16, so that's exactly right.
Okay, this was a whole different story. At that point, Oklahoma was not only ranked number 1, but had been classified as perhaps the best college football team of all time. They were saying
Okay.
they could beat the Detroit Lions.
Was that
Yeah.
what, Jason White? Was that year?
No.
year
yes,
before.
Jason White.
Was it Jason White?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Who had not been touched all year until K-State started sacking him, and then he didn't know what to do.
This is how much I remember. I remember that first drive, and then I at that point, I want to say my second beer, because what would happen was he would leave and he would go and get a beer, and at that point, they didn't care
Yeah,
if you had 2 beers,
Yeah.
right? So he'd bring one back for me, and all of the K-State fans around me automatically assumed that I had to be at least 18, 19. I didn't look it. But there was a guy behind us after we were down by however many points, and the game was out of whack. And I think my aunt and uncle actually left by halftime because we were getting our ass kicked so bad. He had pocketed Hot Damn and gave me a shot
Yeah.
of Hot Damn.
You're gonna need this.
16. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, I know you guys are having a terrible time, and kudos to him because it was a rough game to watch.
That was the game that made Darren Sproles a household name.
He was a stud that game. Yeah.
Screen pass after screen pass.
If I remember correctly, he also ran back a touchdown right after we scored. If I remember correctly, he did a kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
But anyway, so by the time that I get back to the car, because they had to take me back to my parents that were on the opposite side of the family. So I'm with my stepmother and my biological dad's family. They are taking me back to my mom's and stepdad's side of the family. My stepdad picked me up, your friend, right?
Yeah.
And my stepdad picked me up, and I still to this day don't think he's told my mom how fucked up I was when I got into the car whenever he picked me up.
Because your stepdad's badass.
Because my stepdad is badass. It's not that funny of a story, but yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
that
thought you were
story.
talking about when OU went on to win the national championship.
No.
in 2000, which
No.
everybody says, were there any negative effects of Y2K? Yeah. Oklahoma won national championship.
Hey, man.
With
No,
the team that shouldn't have.
The newspaper for the Wichita Eagle the next day after K-State beat Oklahoma, the game that I am referring to, actually said, "Oh, you better believe it."
Yes.
And that was that. It was a stomping. I can't remember the
35
score.
to 7.
There you go, 35-7.
L. Roberson and Darren Sproles back there. L. Roberson, quarterback. God damn it. I'm trying to think of who the.
Who cares?
All right.
Doesn't matter. But anyways, so this is a fun episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a little bit of fun. Didn't have any rules.
Just a little bit.
What?
Yeah, just a little bit of fun.
Why not?
Not too
Why?
much. Not too
Well,
much
make
fun.
more fun, Jeremy. God damn it.
No, I'm
Oh,
saying
I
we
got
can't-
you. I got it.
There you go. Kazoo.
And by the way, we are not brand specific yet. So if we could get a kazoo sponsor, if any kazoo companies want to sponsor us,
I don't think that exists.
No, there's. Well, what's this one?
Toy Tunes.
Toy
motherfuckers.
Tunes.
Not a sponsor, by the way.
Yeah, but Toy Tunes.
Yeah, Toy Tunes Kazoos.
We're looking for sponsors.
That's the first time I've ever done a kazoo.
So, Scotty,
Yo.
let's say that I just really wanted to blow the fuck out of this. Like, say I wanted to pull a Marty McFly, Johnny Be Good, that new sound you're looking for on the kazoo. Uh-huh. What would I drink to prep myself up for that?
StrikeForceEnergy.com, man.
I would drink a website?
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up, Scotty.
Yeah, man.
The whole thing. You
Strike
just,
Force.
Just drink it.
No,
in.
seriously.
I wouldn't print off pictures of it
No.
and jerk off to them
No.
because I do.
Fuck you and fuck you. StrikeForceEnergy.com. It's a great energy supplement, especially for your printer. You can actually put it in there for the ink, and automatically nude pictures will come out. Yes. Yes. StrikeForceEnergy.com. Very good additive to an energy drink. You put it in a bottle of water, shake it up. They come in 10 individual packets inside one box. Use the promo code. Ooh. This is tricky.
Yeah, use the promo code.
No. Yeah, that's
No, I'm just
they
kidding.
misspelled butt
Use
chug.
the promo code No More Cans, possibly butt chug.
Yeah, if one doesn't work, the other one will.
Exactly.
Now, hang on. There's probably loaded down with sugar, though, right?
No sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how much caffeine's in it?
About the same as a cup of coffee.
Well, that's not much.
No
And it's going to
calories.
give me energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blow kazoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because listen. So if I drink.
No, actually, you're going to want something like this particular issue that you're going to have. You're going to want like straight syringe into your.
It's called
Anus.
It's called
Yes.
Anus.
Oh.
Right into my anus.
Yes, that's
Right,
called
right,
the-
right into my
Yes.
anus.
Right,
Yes.
right in the pipeline.
That's more of a funnel.
Right in the dirt
Sure.
pipeline.
Yeah. Oh, you can go funnel,
Mix it,
or you
mix
can
it with
just,
water. Then the flavors don't even matter.
or you can just squirt the gel right up there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's, well,
forgot.
it's water. It's liquid based. It's not a gel.
Well, it depends on
Whatever,
how long you leave it in the freezer.
Yeah.
True. Freeze it, and
Freeze
it's
it to give it a
solid.
gel type quality, then
That's what I'm talking
masturbate
about,
with
yeah.
it.
Yes. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Lubrication.
Right. But anyways, check them out on StrikeForceEnergy.com. They have 4 flavors right now: orange, lemon, grape, and original or Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, yeah.
Nick Foles. Hashtag butt chug. Anyways, guys, we really do appreciate it. This was a fun episode with no rules.
No rules, just right.
I don't
No,
know.
that's not our slogan.
You guys
that's
take
somebody
us,
else.
You guys take us out.
All right.
I don't know. Unfiltered.
All right.
We're gonna get wacky here.
I'm gonna take us out. For the host, Scooter McGurman,
Yes, I got finally called that.
and for the wreck himself, Derek Alders. Let's see, what all do we got? We got Twitter, we got Spotify,
that's
we got,
right. We got Twitter. We're at the Unfiltered Crew.
Yeah, Jeremy's got this, Scotty.
Oh,
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
yeah.
Twitter.
Scotty, what do I say?
At the Unfiltered Crew.
I don't know what to do. I've never talked to
You want me to step in and do it?
Yeah, would you mind?
Okay, sure.
Unshut the fuck up, Scotty.
Sorry, my
Scotty.
bad. Okay, you can follow us on Twitter at the Unfiltered Crew, right?
Yes.
You can follow us on Facebook and like and follow because we do actually have quite a few videos of us doing this show, which automatically start playing, which is kind of nice. All of the Go Fuck Yourselves are going to be on there, and that is at Facebook. Search for the
.com? Facebook.com?
Yeah, Facebook.com.
All right. Thank God.
That is the Unfiltered Sportscast. You can also follow us on. Well, I'm sitting here. YouTube, which is Unfiltered Sportscast. Subscribe and notify. Obviously, it's free of charge, but at least it'll let you know whenever we come out with a new video. And then we're on every single platform that you can possibly think of for podcasts. We're on Podcast Addict, iTunes, which if you have an Apple, use the podcast app. It's a lot easier. We're on Stitcher. We're on Spotify. We're everywhere. So if you look for Unfiltered Sportscast, the Unfiltered Sportscast, 9 times out of 10 we're going to pop up. We are from the Wichita area, so if you are searching from the Wichita area, it's going to come up pretty darn quick.
But we weren't even close to being done with this podcast.
Not even close. Not even close.
You want to take us out. Wow.
Sorry, my bad. But do check us out and follow us and subscribe to us. That means a lot. And we always like to say, if you can, please tell your friends if you like us. If you don't like us,
tell your enemies.
That's exactly right. And until next time, guys,
send nudes.
Take the filter off and make it dirty.
That's exactly
You see the way
right.
I fucking closed that show? I showed to both you motherfuckers.
We'll see you next time. Take care.